your pumpkin for pumpkin pie or bread or something like that for baking, then this is an easy way to do your pumpkin. So this pumpkin is coming out of the oven now. It's been in at about 350 degrees and it's been baking for an hour or so. As you can see, there's about a ½ inch of water in the pan, and it looks very well done, and it's ready to use. I'm just taking this out of the pan, and I did pour a little bit of extra water off of it, and now I'm ready to start scooping it out of the shell. And so just a big spoon so that you can scrape it right up to the edge. And as you can see, I've of course already, before I baked it, I cleaned out the seeds and the extra pulp, the seed pulp. And I'm just going to scoop this out and get ready to put in my Cuisinart. Alright, just a quick pulse with that, and you can see it's nice and creamy, and it's basically done. If you don't have a Cuisinart or a blender to put your pumpkin in, just take a fork and start mashing it, and it will do really well. This pumpkin has been sitting for about ½ an hour, and as you can see, there's a little bit of water that's seeping over here. So I just want to encourage you to take your pumpkin, maybe let it sit out for an hour or two, and then kind of scoop off some of that water so that it's not quite as soupy. And it'll get more clear, and you can just kind of go like this, and the water will come out there. So just watch it, let it sit on your counter for a couple of hours, and then scoop off a little bit of extra moisture that collects. I took the seeds out of the pumpkin. You've heard of roasted pumpkin seeds? These cooking pumpkins aren't going to have as many seeds as a carving pumpkin will, but the seeds are very nice for roasting. So when I cleaned the pulp out of the pumpkin before I cooked it, I put it in a little bit of water, pulled out the seeds, separated the pulp out. Then what I did was just put some oil on the bottom of this pan, put the seeds in it, and some salt on it. And then I baked it in 350-degree oven for 10 minutes, took it out, stirred it well, put it back in for 10 more minutes, and then it's done. Let them cool, because as they cool they get crispier and they're very tasty. If you would rather use your pumpkin for a main course, you're going to cut off the top here, and you can see I've got a nice big circumference here so that there's plenty of room to scoop out the seeds. And I scooped out the seeds and the pulp, and then I have my stew here that was all pre-cooked. Now my recipe called for 2 hours of cooking the stew and the vegetables, but I chose to cook the meat for an hour and then add my vegetables and then cook that for another hour so that the vegetables wouldn't be too mushy. So I've loaded the whole stew into my pumpkin, and I'm going to replace the lid. And now I'm just going to take some canola oil and brush it over the whole top and the sides, and I've already done the bottom, so this will keep the sides from collapsing or becoming too crispy during the baking process. Now the recipe says to bake it for 2 hours, but I'm going to check it at about 1.5 hours and just make sure it's not getting too soft and getting ready to collapse. When it comes out of the oven, you're going to want to scoop out part of the pumpkin pulp to put in each dish with the stew. That's just part of the flavor and part of the idea. So whether you pick a main dish or a pumpkin for pies for Thanksgiving, it's up to you, but enjoy your cooking pumpkin. Okay, so the pumpkin is done and the stew is ready to eat, and we are hungry. So here we have it. I'm going to lift up the lid, and I'll be removing this, and there you have it. The finished stew with the pumpkin to go with it. So enjoy.